congratulations, you had a baby. Now you're probably reading a lot of stuff, trying to figure out some tips and tricks on how to make it easier. 2 books to help me. Happiest Baby on the Block, 12 hours by 12 weeks. Of the dozens that I went through, these are the ones that I use the most. Just kind of shoot this out to you to help you out. Maybe save you some time and some aggravation. Happiest Baby on the Block. The way this author explains it is trying to calm your kid down for the first 3 months of life. So they call it the 4th trimester in this book. So you're trying to, when they're inconsolable or whatever, you try to bring them back to the womb. That's what's going to help comfort them. So one of the things is swaddling. Never thought I'd ever swaddle. Always thought it was really weird, but it does make sense. They're confined for, 9 straight months in the womb, and then they can't control themselves when they're able to move. So you swaddle them down, and you can calm them right down. Second thing biggest one that's helpful is shushing. It's louder than a vacuum inside the womb. So the baby is calmed with shushing. We couldn't control Bruce when the first week he got home from the hospital, just freaking out. We couldn't do anything. Eventually we were like, all right, I was just holding him, stressed out, and we started pumping up a air mattress for my wife's sister to sleep on, and he calmed right down because of the loud noise. The loud noise really helped him. We use like a little white noise machine. We use an app on our phones called Relax Melodies. It's free, and it goes the whole time. Good white noises on there. Those are the 2 biggest. There's also sucking, so using binkies, and then swaying, moving them, like kind of moving them how the mom would walk when they're in the womb. Those are kind of the big ones in Happiest Baby on the Block. Next one is 12 hours by 12 weeks. 12 hours by 12 weeks is to help you sleep train your kid. She starts it like around 8 to 10 weeks, depending on how big your baby is. And she puts you in, first you have to figure out 4-hour increments of sleep. So the first step is to figure out when you want your baby to sleep. So we use 8 to 8 for Lorelai. So your first feeding would be at 8, then at noon, then at 4, then at 8. So there's 4-hour things in between. You kind of push for that first. Then you work through the feedings at night, where you let them sleep as much as possible. So that last feeding you want to feed them, every feeding you want to feed them as much as they'll take. And but that last feeding you really try to get their bellies full. And then you let them go as long as they can, and then you feed them, and you continue to try to push that nighttime feeding longer and longer and longer. Once it gets to 10 hours, then you just give them a 1 to 2 ounce snack before their first feeding, like in our case at 8. So you and then they take ideally a 1 to 2 hour nap in the morning, a 2 to 3 hour nap in the afternoon. She doesn't say that. She says 1 hour, 2 hour. But for us, this has been the case. So I just want to say it that way. And then between the 4 o'clock, between the 3rd and 4th feeding, no nap. So try to keep them awake during that time, because then they're going to be sleeping the whole rest of the time. It's really hard for the first couple of days, but not that bad after that. And even during that time, if they're really tired and young, like Lorelai, then you would want to do maybe like a 10-minute nap in there if they can't control themselves. But I'm utilizing especially in those 4 hours that are important before that last feeding, I'm utilizing the tips of Happiest Baby on the Block. Swaddling. I'm using the sucking with the binky. I'm using the white noise, the shushing. And that's kind of help pushing it over. And the other thing in 12 hours by 12 weeks is you're trying to help coach your baby to self-soothe. So when they're crying, when you put them down, you give them a 3 to 5 minute timer to cry. You don't want them to cry all night, because then they'll learn to cry all night. You want them to self-soothe. And if they can't figure it out in 3 to 5 minutes, then maybe they need a little hand from you. When you go in, you don't pick them up right away. You just put your hand on them, adjust them, maybe give them a binky, put your hand, say, oh, I'm so sorry, this is hard, so hard. And then they'll calm themselves down. And then once they calm themselves down, then you can leave. If they start back up again, set a 3 to 5 minute timer and go back in and do the same. This has worked for both our kids. Lorelai's, I think, 13 weeks tomorrow. She's been sleeping 12 hours for a while now. We don't even need to go in very much anymore at night, if ever. I think maybe once in the last 3 or 4 days. So it's been really helpful. This is just like a little bit of a summary. I think both of the books are worth reading. 12 Hours by 12 Weeks is a really short book. If you want to listen to it, it's under 3 hours. And Happiest Baby on the Block, good to have. There's like kind of like a middle page that kind of explains everything. That's really nice too. So hope this helps. I hope it saves you some time and some aggravation. Congrats on the baby.